Welcome, welcome, welcome to Jazzabrations Live, and I'm your host, Linda Morgan, and this is our 7th show that we will be putting in the can today. And as always on Sunday, I am over the moon excited by the wonderful friends that I have in my circle that come and grace my show. Today is no different. I have with me a very good friend that I've known for a very long time. He's also the music director for my foundation, the Living Legend Foundation. None other than the Mr. Jacques Lesure in the house.
Good afternoon, Linda.
Yay! I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I have to calm down now. I have to calm down, because Jacques is here today, and I'm being very serious because we're going to listen to his new CD, For the Love of You. Now, if you know, most of y'all know Jacques. You know him for many, many years playing. His music is the bomb, but we're going to have a CD listening time so you can get little snippets of his new CD. All right? So, Jacques, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Linda. Glad to be here. As always, when Linda calls, we show up.
Oh, thank you. I feel honored that my friends would come and show up when I call. Don't make me cry, but anyway. I am so honored to have you today and to play your new CD, For the Love of You. Who is it For the Love of You about? What is it all about?
Well, For the Love of You, of course, is a tune that is very popular, written by the Isleys. But the guitar has been in my life since I was 10 years old. I'll be 55 years old in December.
That's right.
So the guitar has been part of my life for 45 years, and it's been in my hands every day unless I was really just too sick to hold one. Even on days when I had the flu, I'd be laying in bed playing guitar. So this was a dedication to my love of the music and the guitar in itself, So For the Love of You is for the love of the guitar.
Oh, absolutely. I cannot wait to dive in to hear, and we will be taking calls today. And that number is on the screen for those listening. It's 323-293-3375. But we're going to dive into the first cut. What's the first cut on the CD?
The first cut was what you opened with. It's called The Lamp is Low. And that tune is a standard. But the way that I came to really dig it was through a cat named Bill Henderson.
Oh, yeah.
One of the living legends. And I used to really trip out on Bill because Bill was not only a great jazz vocalist, but he was in all my favorite movies, Trouble Man and all that kind of stuff. So Bill has a version of The Lamp is Low. And also I did a duo one time with Carmen Lundy. And she also sings it, has an arrangement of it. I just like the song. So the first song on the album is The Lamp is Low.
Okay. All righty. Well, before we go back into that Lamp is Low, we have a caller on the line. Well, welcome to the show. You've reached Linda Morgan with Jazzabrations Live and my guest, Jacques, who's on the call.
My name is Cynthia Evans.
Hey, BFF. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I was hearing Jacques Lesure speak, and I want to hear that song. What is it, For the Love of You, about the guitar?
She wants to hear For the Love of You.
For the Love of You. Okay.
That's the title track. You might as well play the title track.
Okay.
That sounds, I was listening. I didn't know that he was since 5 years old. As much as I've seen Jacques knows who I am. Cynthia, Linda's best friend.
I know who you are. You got to tell. I know who you are, Cynthia. Come on now. Come on.
Thank you.
I know.
BFF was supposed to be in the studios today, but I guess calling in is just as good as being here in present.
Well, you know why I'm not there.
I know, honey.
You know without me saying it.
I appreciate you calling us, and we will play For the Love of You. Is that the next track? We will get into that one right now, just for you because you called in.
Okay, thank you.
Now, Cynthia, be careful with this tune because this tune has been known to cause spontaneous romance.
Oh, my goodness. That'll be great, though, Jacques.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Sookie. Now, I already know that. Y'all know that is my cha-cha song. I will throw down with some cha-cha on that one, Jock. You just don't know. I'm going to have to break it out. Get us some cha-cha going on with that one.
Yeah.
For the Love of You.
For the Love of You. And I want to give the shout out to the guys on the record because they're brothers to me. And first of all, my label, WJ3 Records.
Yes.
Which is my label, which is a label that was founded by the great Willie Jones III, who was one of the greatest jazz drummers. He's a native of L.A., right here from the Leimert Park area. And Willie lives in New York. He's one of the top call musicians in New York and in the world for jazz. So this is his label, and I'm label mates with people like himself, Eric Reed, Ralph Moore, and many other great jazz artists, Justin Robinson, who plays with Roy Hargrove. And on this particular record, we have Eric Reed on piano. You heard that beautiful piano. Mm-hmm. Willie Jones on drums. And also one of the baddest cats in the world. He's so underrated on bass, Tony Dumas on bass. He's one of the top cats. Everybody back east calls him the Ron Carter of the West.
Wow.
And Tony is something else. So that's who's on this particular record. And they really gave a stellar effort and made it really sound good.
Oh, absolutely. I can see me getting my cha-cha on. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get some cha-cha on this evening on this one. So I am so excited about the CD. And the next song I know is one that you told me got a little history to. What was the second track?
Well, that was if you're going to play now, I can just we can pick from the tracks if you'd like to.
Okay.
And right now we can do one that I wrote for one of my mentors. From my hometown of Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
He's a living legend. His name is Kenneth Earl Burrell.
Yes.
Kenneth Earl Burrell, better known as Kenny Burrell, your birthday mate. Mm-hmm. And this next tune is called That's Mr. Burrell, Thank You. And the reason that it's called that, I was at a show one time. It might have been something you were at, Linda. And there was a young man, a teenager, who was getting some kind of an award or something, and he walked up to Kenny Burrell and said, "Hey, man, hey, Kenny." Now, this is a youngster. Where I come from, you don't address older folks like that.
Exactly.
So I stopped him and said, "That's Mr. Burrell, thank you." So I wrote a tune when I thought about that incident, and I wrote a tune called That's Mr. Burrell, Thank You.
Wow. Let's take a listen in on that one. Because that was some disrespect for that young man. He didn't.
No, it wasn't. He didn't know any better.
Right.
He learned.
Mr. Burrell, thank you.
Right.
That's a wonderful cut. I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Thank you, Linda.
So let's talk a little bit about, before we get back into your CD, about the jazz scene here in L.A., as we're both very involved in it.
Well, when we talk about the scene of anything, we talk about a collective of people. When you say, people ask, what's the scene like? Well, once you inject yourself into it, you're part of the scene. Mm-hmm. Now, L.A., I hear great tales about how this used to be back in the day. I hear places, we know the history of, we all know the history of the Dunbar Hotel and Central Avenue, and that was a period of time in the 40s, pretty much, And then there were clubs in Hollywood at the same time, like the Parker, the Billy Bergs. So that was a period of history and time where jazz was flourishing all over the place. Then I hear about Marla's and the Parisian Room and those places in the 60s and 70s. Yeah. But we need to deal with the present and in the present moment. And in the present moment, the jazz scene in L.A. is very vibrant, but also very, very disjoint or disjunct. There are people that you have, there's a college scene. And we're blessed to have some great schools here, UCLA, USC, Northridge, all these. And you have these kids that are studying jazz music, and they're learning to play jazz from books, and they're some really good teachers too. However, they're not culturally connecting with jazz.
Right.
They're doing it from a point of like they're studying about geology or something, They're not connected to the culture. Some of them have never been to Leimert Park. They never knew the history of people like Art Hillary and the great musicians that have gone on, whom you've honored. They've learned it from another, almost a laboratory style. So they're here and they play places around town. They have usually they're following to their own peers. Then you have what I call the old right here in LA that they're going to get tickets to the Hollywood Bowl. They're going to go to LACMA. That's free, and they're going to go places, but they don't really support the hole in the walls and the little things that happen. They got to know it. They got to be in their sphere of radar in order to get out,
Right.
Then you have the groups that have major record collections. They have, and they never go anywhere. They got beautiful homes, and they stay in their house and listen to music and have parties at their home. Then you have your Leimert Park people that go to things at the world. So what we got to do, you got people in the valley. What needs to happen, L.A. needs to have a scene or a unit where everybody supports the music in general, whether you know the people or you've heard of them or not, Right. When I'm in New York, and I play in New York all the time or back east in my home, people just go to the jazz spot. They don't worry about who's in there. And if the person in there is not up to par, which is usually not the case because the owners and the venue people have enough sense to know how to curate good from bad. So when they go in there, they know somebody's going to be happening. And if it's not happening, they say, hey, man, don't get that cat no more. The cat he ain't quite ready, But they don't not go.
Right.
And
they come out and support.
They come out and support. And that's LA's biggest problem. It's not truly, especially when there's a cover charge. Everybody knows in LA a cover charge is the death of a gig. Somebody got to pay $10, $15, $20, and they just don't do. They don't understand the ramification of doing that because there's so much free stuff in LA. LACMA, they can go out there with a picnic basket and just hang out and hear the best in the world free of charge, so they feel like, well, why should I come and see this person somewhere else? Well, because that person has to eat. Mm-hmm. And generally, the club scene is basing a lot of times payment upon who shows up.
Right.
There's the cover charge is going to the musician. So if you truly support the musician, buy their CDs and come to their paid gigs as well as the other ones. Stop hitting Facebook, I'm coming and not showing up.
Right. And I know this part very well as when I took on this Jazzabrations Jazz Vespers this year for my church. Started out with our first show being free. Mm-hmm. It was nice. They put a $15 cover on it. People started coming out. We started building up an audience. Now here in our 10th one, it seems like it's like pulling teeth to get people to come out. But I am so grateful for the support of the few that do come out. Mm-hmm. Like you said, when you came and played in August, you'll play to 1 or 2 or 200.
Right.
So just the fact that people can understand that what we're trying to do is keep the music alive.
Yeah, and that's very important. A lot of these people I know that go to they go to Catalina's, they go to the Playboy, they go to Monterey, they go to all these stuff, but they're not replicating themselves. I know these people are of age where they have grandchildren and sometimes great-grandchildren, and I would say they need to invest and take them to these things and duplicate themselves. Let folks know. Let these kids know, and they might go kicking and screaming. I don't want to go to that granddaddy,
Right.
But take them. But you going anyway. You're going to go hang out and, buy them some candy, whatever they want to have, and let them be immersed in the scene of it. Let them be, through osmosis, they're going to get it. They're there and they see people having a good time. They're going to, it's not necessarily their music, and don't let them sit there with their headphones on listening to something else, just being there.
Right.
Tell them to take give them an incentive. Say, man, if you listen, I'm going to give you $25. I'm going to give you $50 to sit here and listen and tell me what you learned, who you liked. Make it. Kids are different nowadays, so you got to encourage them through other ways.
And educate them about the music and other people that they're seeing. Because if you don't bring them to it, they will never even get to listen to it.
Right. Jazz is not some elitist club.
No.
It's not some little clandestine unit where people just sit around and only and you're the hippest and coolest. This is social music. It's universal music for everybody to dig and listen to. And when I play back other places, I'll see kids. I mean, a good example here in town is the Lighthouse.
Right.
When I played the Lighthouse, there's always some little 2-year-old or 3-year-old whose parents were at the beach, and they come in there, and they can bring them in there because it's a restaurant. And the 2 or 3-year-old will get on a little dance floor and start dancing to the music a lot of times. I've got various pictures of that going on. So we have to be proactive in taking our children, our grandchildren, and exposing them. We don't want them to be ignorant to their own culture.
That's right. And at the Jazzabrations Jazz Vespers, kids are welcome. They're welcome to come for free. 10 years and under, bring them. Let them hear the music. Your grandkids will enjoy hanging out with you, grandparents, because I'm a Glammy now. So I can't wait to bring my grandbaby into this jazz world. She's in Denver right now, but I cannot wait to
They got good jazz in Denver.
Oh, yes. I cannot wait to excite her ears with the music. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go into your next cut. Which one is?
I think we should play Put on a Happy Face. I'll tell you why that one's on there. The song, because there's so much bad news and negativity.
Oh, my goodness.
That's been going on. So when I recorded this album, I said, I want to put on I want something positive. Because everything is negative. And if you know me, I don't really like to get involved in negativity because it does nothing but weigh you down. Mm-hmm. There's no real outcome of rehashing what's going on. So I've learned to accept it. I'm going to give away a free CD. Anybody that calls 323-293-3375, 323-293-3375, the first caller will get an autographed CD. I'll give them away one. I got one for you. Enjoy right. Happy Face.
All righty. Well, Jock, put on a happy
Yeah,
face.
put on a happy face. Smile. Be happy.
All right. You know, we need that too.
We sure do.
Exactly. I feel you when you say everything that we have going on right now in this world, put on a happy face. I try to put on a happy face every day. I wake up, put one foot on the ground, roll out of my bed to go walk, and I'm putting on a happy face.
And this is not to say that we're not going to have issues. I'm not saying that you ignore and pretend like things are not really happening.
Right.
But I've learned to accept things, and not just bear them, but to love the fact that it's happening. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, I'm just cool with it because it's happening.
Right.
And I'm a firm believer in nothing happens that wasn't supposed to happen. Now, we might not know why it happened. Or, we're just some finite. Our intelligence only goes so far.
That's true.
So if it happened, it was supposed to happen. And whatever it is, it might not be. We might find ourselves on the side of the unpleasant feeling of it, but it happened.
Oh, yeah.
So you accept it. You learn to go on. Otherwise, you'll be burdened down with the rest of your life just stuck complaining,
Wondering
like
what?
the jazz scene. People like talk about the scene but don't do anything about it,
Right.
For instance, you hear people all the time talking about all these jazz festivals and they smooth jazz. They don't have no real jazz and blah, blah, blah. And they talk about these places that are packed with people all the time. So-and-so ain't no jazz artist. Why they on the thing,
Right.
But yet they have no alternative.
Right.
They have no other solution. Why don't you, if that's the case, get together, and most of the folks talking have some resources
To make it happen.
to get together and make the festival that you want occur.
That's right. And that's what it takes, Jacques, is people putting action behind their words.
Right.
There's always been a lot of talk around, the music scene. When I started even thinking about the Jazzabrations and the Jazz Vespers series and booking it out for the whole year, people thought I was crazy. How you going to do that? How you going to book 12 months of jazz at your church? Mm-hmm. Simple. Action. You put the action behind it and you just do it. Every time I come up with something, it's to keep the music and the musicians alive. This Thursday, we're going to the world stage because Mr. Leroy Music Harrison, who has given a lot to this town in terms of legendary piano playing, he needs his spirits lifted.
Mr. Music.
That's right, Mr. Music.
How old is Mr. Music now?
He is, I believe, 90.
Wow.
And his health is not well.
Of course.
And he's continuing to fall. So me and his niece, Denitra Harrison Smith, we decided that we're going to bring him to the world stage. He can still play. He want to get it. He's still driving. We need to encourage him to stop driving because he just still want to get in his car and drive over to La Louisiana.
Right.
Right. And he lived right here in Lamar Park.
Well, you can bring him also to Lavender Blue. You can bring him this evening.
Exactly.
If you feel like it. You can
Exactly.
bring him in.
So we want to be able to lift his spirits and have everybody to come out on Thursday to the world stage and show Mr. Music your love for this music and jazz that he's given so much to, just to lift his spirits up. So I don't just create events spontaneously.
Right.
When there's a need for something. Most of the time, don't need no money. It just takes the will and the power to want to do it.
Money will come,
Exactly.
Money will show up when you need it. Money is just a resource. It's a medium of exchange. It's a tool that's necessary to get things done. However, a lot of times we focus on the money we don't have versus on the love and the power that we do have.
Correct.
By the way, I want to let folks know they can get that. We haven't given that CD away.
That's right.
So if they want to get a free autographed CD, you call 323-293-3375. Let me repeat that, 323-293-3375. And I will give you an autographed CD for the first caller that calls in and gets that.
And you'll also get 2 tickets to our show next Sunday. Jazzabrations Live will be Jazz Vespers going on 5 to 7 next Sunday at Morningside United Church of Christ, right there.
That's a deal.
8722 Crenshaw Boulevard.
2 tickets and a CD?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
We got Elena Gilliam on that show. We got George Gilliam playing guitar. We got Durf Reckloff on percussions and floats. And we also got Donald Dean on drums.
Wow.
Y'all gonna miss this show? Mikhail Majid on piano? Mm-hmm. Come on. And then we're honoring none other than the Donald Littleton on drums and Michael Sochet, Mr. Bassman himself. You can't get that kind of music ship in one place all at the same time.
And it's funny, Linda, these guys, a lot of people, the names that you mentioned, they don't have the national exposure that some of us have. They don't have that national
Presence.
People don't really know them now. They haven't really recorded. But the musicians you name, well, of course, Donald Dean has a national presence. People know Donald Dean. He was with Les McCann and Eddie Harris, But some of the other ones are just some really good, solid musicians and solid cats that have been here in L.A. and various cities. And, it's a shame that the youngsters don't know more about them, the people that need to know. Mike Soche, McHale, Papa Don Littleton, these people are very important to this area, the scene and music. They've been there. They've been in the trenches.
Right.
And it's a shame that more and more people don't know who they are.
That's right. And that's the reason why I started bringing them out and introducing them to the world. I thought about this just the other day. I got this invite to, I posted the flyer. And there's this website called Evensi, Evensi, 70 million people on their website. And they posted my flyer. And I was just like blown away. And then they put it in the best events. I showed Tony, I was like, wow, baby, I don't even know they existed. But they saw the work of my card and the people that was on there and said, this is worthy for us to send out to our 70 million people worldwide.
And you don't need 70 million people to show up. You need a good 200.
Right. That's right here locally.
Or 50. Or these venues, are there. There are a lot of great venues. And people just need to come out and show up and stop being what I call jive about it. If you come in, you come in. We know that you can't attend to everything. I realize that.
Correct.
But you can attend a lot of it. And a lot of times, just open your ears up, open your mind up to something different and get out, get in your car. I know that L.A. is not like New York.
Right.
You can sit. That's the reason I love the city so much. New York is you can
Jump
come
on
home
the
from
subway.
work. You can come home from work, get a nap. As we get older, you got to get a nap.
Oh yeah.
So I can get a nap in New York, and I can leave my house at 11 o'clock, 11:30 after a good long nap, and go out and still hear music to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Ride the subway and have a good time.
Oh yeah.
I hate the fact that they didn't. That the LA City Council has balked on letting clubs stay open till 4 in the morning. See, that's the part, they said they're not going to do that, But most major cities are like that. Most major metropolises let people stay out for a while. The alcohol, people going to get high and drink regardless of where they are.
They're sitting in their cars and do it.
So you can't control that. So what LA needs to do is open up its mind to not just its Hollywood flavor, but being a real city and having the nightlife. Nightlife is very important, it's very important to jazz. Jazz doesn't end at 10 o'clock.
No, it doesn't.
Sometimes it does. I do a gig in New York. It doesn't even start till 12. It starts at 1. There's a gig I do in New York. The first set is at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And we go to 4.
Oh wow, that's awesome. And even the World Stage Jam this Thursday starts at 9.
Right.
So when they go to about 9, depending on how good it is, James, Janice, do y'all run till 1 in the morning there too? We'll be there hanging. I'll be there hanging all night on Thursday with Mr. Music.
Right, Lavender Blue on Sundays. We're there. That's an early set because we know you got to go to work Sunday.
On Sunday, right.
But Sunday we're there from 7 to 10 at Lavender Blue. We've been there 3 or 4 years. Marcia in Inglewood, she put a stake in the ground long before there was any news of any stadium.
Anything coming in.
And she's going to really benefit from that. She's been in the club having jazz. Marcia presented jazz and blues for a long time in this city.
Oh yeah.
From Deja Blue and all these different places she's had. So people just need your support, folks. They need your support, and you need to go to the owners and let the owners know, I want to hear this person, or you need to do this more. There's a club. I won't mention them, who they are, but they have a big old sign that says live jazz, outside their club. And they don't have live jazz all the time, but you would think that this club had live jazz all the time. They have a remnant of it, You actually said their name earlier, but
wow.
But they got a big green neon sign that's live jazz. But they don't really have live jazz in there. They have some R&B a lot of times. They have different things, but they don't really have live jazz.
Oh, yeah, right. I know you're talking about that.
And it could be it's the most perfect. It's in a neighborhood where there's people of affluence that have money. The age range is in there to hear the music. They have jazz on Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon, the old cats be in there.
But they could have jazz. If there was anywhere, and face it, we can face it or not like it, so-called gentrification is happening. You
Correct.
know,
All
and
around
there
us.
are people around that would love it. If he thought his sales were good now, start doing it like it's supposed to be done and really do it in there and watch what happens.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, places, there are venues and avenues where jazz can be played all week. And I don't know, you know, what it takes for people to get involved into making it happen. I think it's just a matter of
Stop being lazy. Stop talking about how far it is.
right.
You know, get in the car, plan your day, and go. Stop making excuses. I mean, that's what it is. You know. Now I know that people say, "Well, I don't want to be drink." Well, then don't drink so much that you can't drive home.
No. Don't even tell them that. Tell them my favorite private car.
Right.
Uber will take
Right.
you anywhere you need to go.
Right.
I am the Uber queen. Get with me. Uber Linda Morgan is my code that you can use to try Uber free.
Right.
For the first time.
And if you drove your car and say, "Man, I can't make it," leave your car and get in the Uber and go home and come back and get your ride.
That's right.
I mean,
never let that be the reason
Right.
that you can't make it to an event.
I know it's rough. Believe me, because I do this for a living. You know, I got 3 kids in college. Man, I got to keep picking and grinning.
That's
You
right.
know, but I know that where there's a will, we get where we want to get to.
That's true.
And we go where we want to go. We do what we want to do.
That's true. And I'm so grateful for the fact that there is like 10 women that come out every month to the Jazzabrations. They live right over there in Briarwood. Every month they buy their 10 tickets for the next show.
And get over there.
They
That's
come
great.
right on over, and I'm so grateful for them, Miss Lena Whitaker and her crew. Thank you for always coming and supporting us at Jazzabrations Live. We have a good time. For $20 you eating. We got $2 wine. Yes, we have wine at Morningside United Church of Christ.
So now it's time for the Briarwood Jazz Festival. So they got a space over there. You can do it. And that way they're giving to you. You got to plan something so they can have it right over there in the little common area.
Oh, that's right. You know what? Sherwood gave his birthday party there last week.
Right.
It was off the chain. Sherwood had cooked. You know, he loved to cook.
Right.
Got his singing on. But yes, I'm looking to seeing that because that's somewhere right around the corner from what we're doing. So look out for that.
You know,
Briarwood Jazz Festival.
You know, the music needs to be in our community. That's the problem.
That's right.
The music, when I grew up in Detroit, the music was in the community. In Philly, Cleveland, you know, Chicago, the music, Memphis, Atlanta, the music's in the community.
That's
and,
right.
And it's not a big deal. I remember my uncles and folks going to see, they wouldn't say they're going to see jazz. They say, "Hey, man, you be in the barbershop." I remember this vividly. Little boy, I'm in the barbershop. Somebody would holler out, "You going to see Cannonball tomorrow?" "Yeah, man, yeah." "Cannonball's in town?" "Yeah, man, I'm going to go see Cannonball." They didn't say, "I'm going to see some jazz at the jazz place." You know,
Right,
they just going to see Cannonball, and they knew who Cannonball was.
Right.
Yeah. Well, man, listen, is Yusef with him? "I don't know, man. If you said with him or not," and they were hip to what was going on. You know, we got to stop being so square and get hip.
That's right. I'm with you on that one. So we're gonna go into the next CD song. What song we gonna hit up
I think you
next?
should play Holy Land because you know the jazz stage is sacred. This is a song by Cedar Walton that I love, and it's called Holy Land.
Holy Land.
Mm-hmm.
I met Mrs. Cedar Walton at the Watts Tower Festival years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Who took me to meet him? Gilda Haygood.
Gilda Haygood, yeah, she knew Cedar.
Historian extraordinaire.
Yeah. Holy Land.
Yes, you're back with, I hope you're listening to us here on Jazzabrations Live. You're listening to Linda Morgan and my guest, Jacques Lesure, as we just listened to Holy Land. Wow,
Yeah,
that was a nice
tune.
cut.
I love that tune.
What was that one inspired by?
Well, I've seen Cedar play it many times, and I just like it. I've played it live, and it just has this feeling to it. You know, it's hard to explain. It's just when we're on stage. See, a lot of people, I think, when they see musicians, some musicians are up there for different reasons. But for me, playing jazz music it's three things are occurring. I'm having an intellectual experience, I'm having an emotional experience, and I'm having a spiritual experience. So all these three things are occurring. The output of that is what the audience is seeing. Mm-hmm. So my concern is not, well, my overall concern is I want the audience to enjoy it, but I'm not performing.
Right.
It is a performance. It's kind of a really oxymoron because it's a performance, but we're having an experience. It should be. And I see a lot of musicians, they're more concerned with performing, and they've worked out some things, singers and vocalists, and they do these same things all the time. And they wonder why their careers are not prospering because they're not coming from an honest place with the music. They're not studying the music. They're not bearing their soul. They're not sounding bad to sound better. They're not doing the things necessary. They just want to play and be seen.
Right.
And that's a problem. So the stage to me is the Holy Land. When you're up there, it means that you're serious. You're willing to to bear it all, because it might be I play like it's the last time I'm playing, because I never know
when.
And I've seen people. I've been in situations where it was the last time they played.
Right.
You know, so it's not a joke. It's not just fun and games with us. You know what I'm saying? With most serious musicians. So Holy Land is my homage to Cedar, because it was serious. You know, it's very serious. If there's anything I've learned, one of my friends is Wynton Marsalis, and he has a term when he says most people aren't serious. Being serious, you know, Wynton Marsalis is extremely serious. Not just his playing, his work ethic is beyond. I've never seen anybody like it. It's unreal. And you know, he can always tell when a cat is not serious. Doesn't mean the cat is not talented. There are a lot of talented people, but they're not serious. So we want to make sure that when we're performing that we're serious. And the bandstand, that's why there's no clowning and playing on the bandstand. Doesn't mean you can't have a good time. Dizzy clowned and had a good time, but he was serious.
And in his playing. Mm-hmm. I heard that. It's in my eye. Okay, well, with that, we're going to go into the next tune.
I guess we can play, we can play another song, That's the Way of the World. You know, growing up.
That's the way?
You know, and I did it solo. People think that.
That's not it.
Yeah, that's the way of the world.
Oh, okay.
People think that I grew up with jazz. Jazz was all around me, but also I was born in the 60s. I'm a kid of the 70s. I came to understand it in the 70s. So the Barcades and Earth, Wind and Fire and all that stuff was very much important to me. So this song, That's the Way of the World, is just a solo piece that I played for in honor of one of my favorite groups, one of the first concerts I attended, Earth, Wind and Fire.
There?
I don't know, but we're back. It's all good.
All righty.
It's all good.
That was
That's the Way of the World.
That's the Way of the World.
Yeah, that was just my little rendition. Yeah, I love the song. And the late great Maurice White, we share a birthday.
Oh, okay.
On December 19th. So him and Bobby Timmons, Cicely Tyson. I got a few people that are the
born
same
on your same day.
Yeah.
I know me and Kenny Burrell are birthday mates.
That's all you need right there.
Well, we still are looking for anyone who'd like to call in and get this free CD and 2 tickets to the Jazzabration coming up next Sunday.
Right.
The number is 323-293-3375. But anyway, I am excited. I'm sitting up here flying away bags, but super excited about hearing your CD, because I come and hear you live as much as I can on Sundays at Lavender Blue.
Well, I appreciate that, Linda.
Because I love listening to live music.
Well, and I guess people don't understand. Now, Lavender Blue is free, by the way, to come in, and they got good food. You get to come in and hang out. But what we have to understand is that, and this is a problem that they have here too, the idea of being local.
Right.
Everybody has to live somewhere. I choose to live in this area.
Right.
However, our music is not just local. Because you can see me doesn't mean that you don't have to pay sometimes.
Right.
When we go other places, we travel the world all over, and the ticket prices are up there. You come to the Blue Note to see me, or Smoke in New York or whatever. It's a pretty good ticket price. And I don't live there, but people in New York don't call their artists local.
Right.
Sonny Rollins lives in New York. Great musicians live in New York, but when they go to the club, they expect to pay for it. Mm-hmm. Here, they feel like if they can see you and they know you, or you played around a little bit, that it's not you local. But that's just not. And a lot of times, many of us have to back off of playing around here in order to get respect, because if you play too much, they just put you in some other category.
Mm-hmm.
And Lavender Blue, since I'm an Inglewood native, it's very important to me that I put that music in the community,
Correct.
So when a lot of times I'll fly right back in, and I'll get off a plane at LAX and come straight to Lavender Blue, because it's that important to me that people have access to quality, top-notch musicians, people like Marvin Smitty Smith.
That's right.
Hanging out with me, sitting in, all kinds of great musicians that come in there, and just because you see us doesn't mean we're local.
Right. And I feel you 100% on that, because there's places around here where you will pay, and people do pay to go and hear musicians, all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's a matter of perspective. And
right.
People just got to be able to get out of their comfort zones, like you say, and come and hear the music.
Right.
You and I both are part of an organization that is training the next young lions and lionesses of jazz and blues. Mm-hmm. Charles Dola Coker Foundation, been around 34 years. Mm-hmm. And they give scholarships to help these young musicians to continue their work in jazz.
And there's so many avenues and venues, and we shouldn't have to pull teeth in order to get it to happen. And you don't have to do, sorry to say, other cities, not that they have millions of places, but other cities, when you're in Philadelphia, there's a young man. His father is a great bass player, Mike Boone. His son, Mikhail Boone, is about 12 and is playing drums better than just anybody. He does all the gigs with his father now that he can do, without conflicting with school. And professional musicians, when I go to Philly, I'm using him on drums, because he can really play.
Yeah,
and and why would I not use him and his father? You know what I'm saying? So, we just have to get out of the posturing of jazz and really get to the culture and the music of it.
And the preservation of it.
The preservation. One of my biggest experiences, I love coming to Leimert Park, and the first person I want to see is Solomon.
Oh, yeah.
Because if Solomon is in the room, Solomon raises the vibration in the room by his applause. He goes, yeah, and his vibration is such that you can't help but feel good around him. And he supports the musician. And Solomon, we don't know his conditions or what he is. We don't know, but a lot of times he would be called an undesirable.
Right.
But Solomon is very important, and that's what jazz is about. It's those people. Those songs we like, Freddie the Freeloader was about a person. Killer Joe was a person. Mm-hmm. Last Time I Saw Janine, that's a person, So we want to make sure phones are ringing.
Yeah.
323 323-293-3375. 323-293-3375.
Yes,
I got one
call
more
in.
free CD to give away. One more free CD. 323-293-3375. I'll put your name on it with no problem, okay? All right.
Absolutely. So, we got a couple of minutes to go, but did you want to break out the guitar and do something?
No, I don't think so. I think we have one more song that's very important on this record.
Okay.
And it's called I Want You. And it's by the late great one and only Marvin Gaye.
Oh, yes.
Now, growing up in Detroit, I used to walk past he had a home there, and we used to walk past his house and hope that we saw Marvin come out the house.
Yeah,
you know?
he used to live right over here off of San Vicente.
Yeah. So he had houses all over the place, but he'd be in Detroit. We would just want to say, when is he gonna come out, man? When is he gonna come out? Is Marvin in there? So this song is a very classic Marvin Gaye song that we put our own twist on it. We want you to check it out. I Want You.
I Want You. Check it out, y'all. Want You. You are back with Linda Morgan and Jazzabration Live and my guest, Jacques Lesure.
I love that lyric. I want you.
I want you. And we have a caller on the line.
The right way.
And this caller will get a CD autographed by Jacques, as well as 2 tickets to the Jazzabration Live. Who do we have on the line with us?
Gail McGrew.
Hi, Gail McGrew. How are you?
I'm fine.
Are you available to come to the show next week?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want you to give me your information online, but I got to figure out how to get.
Tell you what.
Okay, you hold on.
I'll help you out.
Tell her to hold on, and then Felicia will get your information,
Uh-huh.
and we'll get that CD autographed to you as well as 2 tickets. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And Gail will have the CD. Linda will have the CD for you at the Jazzabration
show.
concert.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
All righty. Thank you.
Okay, that's all I do?
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
All right, just hold on, and she's going to get your information. We got another caller.
Okay.
All righty. So Miss Gail is our lucky winner for the CD
Yep.
and 2 tickets to the show. So this has been a pleasure, Jacques, just having you here playing the CD. I can't wait to go home and listen to it fully myself.
Oh, yeah.
So that I can play it and I can use your intro.
You can use whatever you like to use on it. You have my permission.
As for my intro next week, we will be here at 8:30 in the morning next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the day of the show, I come in early that morning and record so that I'm ready to be live for Jazzabrations Jazz Vespers at the Side.
Oh, okay.
And that's from 5 to 7 with, again, Elena Gilliam, George Gilliam, Mikhail Majid, Durf Reckloff, and Donald Dean on drums, where we will be honoring our 137th and 138th into the fold in the past 7 years.
Wow.
Michael Soche and Don Littleton, y'all need to bring it. You need to tell your people to call me for tickets. The advanced tickets will be off after tomorrow. You can get them for $20 now, but on Tuesday they will be $25 until we sell out.
And there's a little something to eat with that too, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We have a wonderful caterer that comes and brings us some food. You can't even get this kind of music and talent for $20.
All right.
But
Linda, it was great being here.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you for hanging out with us, and definitely, as always, Felicia doing the thing here at
Thank you,
Morris
Felicia.
Media Studios. I do understand a couple of my friends now coming on over here to do their show. Come on, y'all all come tag along.
I might have to grab a show in here. I like this.
That's right. Come on and get your show. Thank you, Felicia. It's been fun.